Action. All right, y'all. Well, welcome to the Fantasy Feud Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan, alongside my co-host Anthony. How you doing, man?
Good. How we doing, John? Are you excited? We ready for
Yeah,
for
man.
our
This is our
first one?
first episode, bro. It's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, Anthony. So tell the audience about our show.
All right, guys. Fantasy Feud Football Podcast here is something created between me and John where we see so many football podcasts out there, but we want to have a little twist, our little own thing. We want to have fun. I want to bring news that everybody can get from anywhere else, but having fun while we do it. The little difference in between me and John, we actually mesh pretty well together, but we go hard. You know what I mean? We battle. It's a little feud here. All right, we're gonna
Oh,
go against each other on our takes and try and give you guys information and different outlooks and our takes on what we do in fantasy football, how we go about our drafts, why we think the way we do, the jellies, which you'll get to later. All these little things and just try and bring a little fun, also game here and there, right? Me and John are gonna have weekly feuds, season-long feuds, and a feud being just our knowledge going against each other, as well as we're going to do as often as possible, hopefully with guests from our viewers, is where I want a viewer to come on and we're going to ask you a set of questions. And if you get enough right, you're going to win some cards, some little football cards. Nothing special because we are on a $0 budget. But for instance, John is a Jets fan, so later he's going to get some Jets questions and a chance to win some Jets football cards.
nice. Nice, man. All right. So, who are we, man? So I'm Jonathan, man. I'm a lifelong Jets fan, suffering for a long time. Uh living in or the Orlando area right now. And my fantasy football approach is just to give you the numbers, give you what I see. I'm a very logical, numbers kind of driven guy. A little bit of the eye test feel, but I'm really big on like supporting my eye test with some data. So that's how I do things, man. And then obviously Anthony's a Giants fan, so we have that clash over here. We actually met in Central Jersey, and he's holding down the fort still in Central Jersey. Shout out to Jersey, man. So Anthony is gonna definitely make fun of all the crocodile and mosquitoes down in Florida and
Don't
all the
forget them lizards,
humidity
cuz.
down in Florida. But I will also be making fun of him when you get snowed in, and I don't have to worry about all that snow.
That's
So
fair. That's
we
fair.
got that bickering back and forth. We'll definitely have Jets Giants of who is more shitty. So we'll definitely talk about that, man. And obviously, we also have different cultures, man. So we're both, native New Yorkers, originally from New York, grew up in New Jersey. I'm Puerto Rican, he's Italian, so we'll have a little bickering back and forth. So first and foremost, man, I want to talk to you about the show. Is this is a fantasy football first podcast, man. We are focused on football. Obviously, right now, like we'll tie in a little bit of sports. I'm wearing a Knicks jersey, so getting ready for playoff time there. But this is first and foremost fantasy football first. We also want to get make it entertaining for you, man. We want to make sure there's comedy mixed in there. Let's give you that real, authentic, like New York, New Jersey, grit to it. Also, just get some honest opinions and some hot takes every once in a while, just to spice it up. And I'm going to back up what Anthony said why we're doing this. We love fantasy football, man, but we also like fun, man. So why don't we combine the two? And we just want our listeners to be a part of our conversation. So that way you can build off of like maybe some knowledge and we can get better. So hopefully in your leagues, you're winning. So that is our whole thing. So now we're going to get to some trash talk now with Jets and Giants. So, Anthony, there's been a lot of more positives for the Giants and the Jets. I don't know. There's been a little bit of question mark. So, my thing is that the Giants, do the Giants signing John Harbaugh, are the Giants a playoff team automatically?
I think that we all hope and believe so. I think as a fan, a diehard fan and coming from the heart, I think that it could be. I just need to see the draft, right? Like, what do they do in the draft is always huge. They've had some good drafts. They've had some bad ones in the back in a couple years back that we're still seeing, right? But I think that they could double their wins, right? They can come out with 8 wins, and that's a huge win for him. The ceiling is low, set low. The bar was set low for Harbaugh coming in. The only thing now I could say that's going to be a factor is Dexter Lawrence. Like that is huge, right? That
Yeah,
is huge.
for sure, man. So we'll definitely jump into that, man. And then our next thing, man, if this is more of a Jersey versus Florida thing. So, I have a question. Would you for $10,000, um, try to hunt a gator by yourself?
All right. I like the question. That was so left field, that I love it. So for 10 G's, I
Yeah.
have to hunt a gator.
Yes, and eat
Now,
it, and then skin it and eat it for 10 grand.
am I given any tools or weapons?
Yes, you're given weapons. So
All
you'll
right. So
be
what is it
giving
like?
obviously, and obviously, if you're going to do this, there's a humane way of how to do that. I don't want to get into like animal rights things or whatever, but there
Right.
is
So
a
it's not like
hunting
I'm gonna
season
have a
here.
baseball
Yeah.
bat and I'm beating you.
So yeah, yeah. There's a proper way of how you do that.
One
So
of those.
would
I
you
think I've
for
seen it. Like those, this little loopy
a
net
little
thing,
tip?
and I
Yes,
gotta get
correct,
his head in there. Ah,
correct.
10 grand, bro. Right about now, today's day. Yep. Give me that, bro. Now, I don't think I'm going to skin it and do all that shit properly. I'll eat it. But depending on the size of this, if it's your average size, it's not like Lake Placid out here. I think I'll do it. I think I'd do it, right? I don't think they're that quick. I mean, I've seen some move on the feed. No, but I still got it. Like I think I could do it.
Uh, okay.
I also
I'm gonna keep it real. I am way too much of a city boy to do any of that.
That's fair,
I
and
would
you're
never
living out
do
there
it.
with it. I just think like you know what I mean? Like not for no reason, right? I'm not gonna be like, oh, dude, crank a gator, and then go get it for no reason. You're talking 10 bands. I'm gonna be like, give me this pole here. All right,
I
Gator,
don't even know
Gator
if I
don't
would do it for 10 bands because I'm
10
afraid
bands.
that like
Gator
what if
don't
it
play
comes
no
after
shit,
me?
John.
Like
Gator
that's a
don't
life or
play
death thing.
no shit. Okay, Gator don't play.
So just because I live in Florida doesn't mean I have ingrained myself in
All
like
right,
that.
son. So you know what? We're gonna take it. I'm gonna take it down a notch. I'm not gonna pay you because we're going from a gator to like an iguana. Would you, you know what I mean?
Yo,
Would you go
yeah,
out and
that's a
try and
different
like,
story.
right? Like, but what if it's like in the tree? You got to go up there and get it. You're gonna no problems. You're
Yeah,
not
I got
icky by
that.
it.
I
You're
got
not
that.
icky by it, right? You're
I
not. All
got
right,
that.
okay.
I got that.
Just making sure.
All
Listen,
right.
that hair is real pretty. So I didn't know if you were, what I mean? Like you're not taken away from it, right?
Oh, no, 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 man. No. All right. Next is New Jersey. I want to do a fun fact.
Okay.
Did you know in New Jersey there is a mansion that Napoleon's brother lived in New Jersey? Do you know what
Really?
city it is?
Napoleon's brother. Because
Yeah,
I was
Napoleon Bonaparte. Like
I thought you were
it's
going into something else
yeah,
because I just saw this post recently where there's a mansion just came on the market and it has relations and ties to somebody from the Titanic or something like that. It's like this huge mansion,
yeah.
millions that those the $10,000 Gator reward would not get me. But no, I don't know. I'm gonna say
It's definitely. I'll give you a hint. It's
is it
South
like near
Jersey.
Princeton?
Yeah, in the Princeton area.
That's what I figured. You know what I mean? They seem pretty preppy out there. Um, yeah, that would have been my
Yeah,
guess.
you're really close. I'm just gonna leave you ahead.
Yeah, like geographically, I'm not the best, but like Princeton would have just been my guess. So I don't even know what else is around there. I live in Jersey, and I still learn new towns every day.
Check this out. He lived in Bordentown.
Ew!
He lived in Bordentown, New Jersey.
Wow, I remember when I worked for a certain place, they have a certain spot out there, and it is not a good one.
Yeah, Joseph Bonaparte lived in Bordentown, New Jersey.
And
And
it's a mansion
yeah, and he purchased it in 1816.
for like $13.
Yeah, but that's also a lot of money back in the day. People didn't make that money. I just
Wow.
wanted to throw out like a fun
Listen,
fact about
John,
New Jersey.
I like learning something, and there is
I
not
just
one
wanted to throw it
person
out there.
that I
By the
know
way,
that would do
guys,
that.
I'm a historian, so I didn't want to go there. All right, so let's switch to NFL news, man. So we got three hot stories that we need to talk about for fantasy football. First thing I'm going to do is Mike Evans signs to 49ers. A couple of things, man. Last year he battled injuries. He had a career low, 30 receptions. Ew, ouch. 368 yards, the first of his career that he is under 1,000 yards, and his three touchdowns matched a career low. The last time he only scored three touchdowns was back in 2015 with Jameis Winston throwing him the football.
Which is wild.
Yeah, which is wild. So, can Mike Evans return to have another year of 1,000 yards receiving? And can he become fantasy relevant? Are you more concerned about the injuries, or do you think that this is the beginning of the end of Mike Evans, that we will not see retro Mike Evans? This is it.
I think he's what now? 30 or 31.
Yeah.
So the fact that I think he signed a 3-year deal with them. Now, obviously, he doesn't have to be there for the whole 3 years. They could dip out after one or two. But if he is 100% healthy the entire season, right? Misses one game tops besides the bye. I think he can hit that because I think Ayuk is done, right? Like who else do they have there, right? Juwan Jennings, I think he's kind of in limbo as well. So they went out, they got their guy. Brock Purdy is he can give him that.
Do
I
you
think
think
I think
that
so.
here's my question more about Mike Evans is um do you see Mike Evans as a wide? I mean, I think the days of seeing Mike Evans as a wide receiver one are gone. I mean, we're talking wide receiver two at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. His days of being on your
Realistically,
squad. Yeah, if you have a three wide receiver fantasy football league and he's your wide receiver one, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for you. Now, personally, if it depends on what round do you think he's going to be like, you know what I mean? If he's falling and I already have two receivers and I see Mike Evans there, I'll and he's my wide receiver three all day. I'll be good with that, right? Because there's a high upside for him, right? This is who he is. But yeah, for him to be my one, obviously not. Two, I'd probably still be a little shaky, but depending on who my one is, like if I had JSN or Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, and then he's my two, I'm all right. Okay, maybe I'm not as bad, but I personally would not. In drafts, I'm probably going to stay away unless he falls to me and he's my wide receiver three.
all
What about
right,
you?
man.
What's your feels, John?
Yeah, I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna because we're gonna move on to the other two. But my quick thing is that I think Mike Evans finishes as more of a wide receiver three this season.
Wide receiver. Okay, so
Wide
does
receiver
he
three this
real
season.
where does he fall? All right, so obviously he's not a top 12. Is he a top 24? Does he finish
Yeah,
inside the
I
top
think
20?
he's a top 24. I think he
And
could be a
that's
top 24.
20 to
I think on
24
the
what you
low
say?
end, I'm gonna go as low as I think Mike Evans might be a top 30. He might drop down to the 30s. Um,
I was gonna say, do you think he's in the back end of the 12 or is it like now?
I think he can go down. I'm interested in seeing if they could get him to the end zone. That is my more question about Mike Evans is that like with Christian McCaffrey still being there, that offense is kind of being rebuilt. Like Mike Evans has always been known as a red target. My thing is that can Mike Evans have like 10 touchdowns? That is more my question is that can he get to 10? If he does not have 10 touchdowns, he's definitely like in danger of like top 30. And that's
Okay.
just my opinion about it is that Mike Evans,
And that
where
is a
he
fully healthy Mike
that's a
Evans.
fully healthy. So
Okay.
so that would be my thing about Mike Evans. Um, but I'm more excited about this one. The Jalen Waddle signs with the Broncos. So the last 2 years he hasn't had 1,000 yard receiving, but he's a PPR machine. He was great in Mike McDaniel's offense. His best season was a sophomore season where he had like I think he had 1,300 yards receiving. It was his best season. And the last 2 years the offense has been a little stale. Still, the shadow of Tariq Hill is, he was in that offense. So, which him being brought into Sean Payton's system, I think this will bring the best out of Waddle, in my opinion. I could see Waddle finishing the season actually with more fantasy points than Cortland Sutton. I think that we're talking maybe that Jalen Waddle might be a top 15 wide receiver. I'm going to even go as far as top 10.
I like that. I mean, I did like the move. I think we knew it was coming, right? They shut down the Devon Achane ones, but they figured like, which was first of all wild to me. Like they went out, you get rid of Tua, that's fine. You get Malik Willis, and then you give him nobody to throw to. They have like Malik Washington, okay, well, all right, but like I'm assuming they're gonna go in the draft and maybe get a receiver, but they gave up. They didn't. Denver won in this deal, in my opinion, right? They gave up a late first round, something else. It wasn't crazy. They had to go pay him, sure. But I think that there is a lot of mouths to feed on Denver. Like they've been dart throwing at receivers for a while. Cortland Sutton has been obviously the most sustainable guy. Then you have your Mimses and your Troy Franklins and the world, and now it's like this is a legitimate 1A 1B situation. To me, I think he's going to have more receptions and yards than Sutton, but Sutton's going to get the touchdowns. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
But like,
I agree with that. I think the
you
touchdowns,
could literally like a Mike Evans or like a Julio Jones. How many times did Julio Jones have finished in the top 10 but have like four touchdowns the whole season because he just
I
went
agree.
nuts?
I
So I
agree.
could see that. I say top 15. I would have him like 13, 14, 15 area. Like I would be pretty confident in saying that just because like the run game isn't been what they wanted it to be. RJ Harvey hopefully has a good second sophomore year. But I think that Sutton is still have that comfortability with Bo Nix that it's just going to be target. He's going to be a PPR guy.
Yeah.
I will love to have me some Waddle. I always have, even in Miami.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I like that you put this on here. I'm excited. This is very, very fair, fantasy relevant. I think Waddle is his stock just jumped for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel very comfortable drafting Jalen Waddle as my wide receiver one.
Yeah, and you won't. And like I think he's
And I'm
a.
and I'm confident in that. Super confident. I'm going to even say that Jalen Waddle's even more valuable in Dynasty.
Oh, well, we know that we have some dynasty situations ourselves here,
Yeah.
John.
So I want to,
I'm
we will
writing this down
definitely,
because we have a draft a couple months that John we
y-
are with new startup dynasties.
yeah, I'm just saying. But Jalen Waddle is a big target right now. Now, I did want to tell you that I feel confident, but I don't. The reason why I say Dynasty is more valuable is because Bo Nix is still coming back from that injury. So, are you willing to draft Jalen Waddle that high? But like for Dynasty, absolutely, Jalen Waddle is somebody that I like long term.
I think he's 26.
Yeah, I think he's
So
in the 20s, but I value him very, very high now.
that's
I think they're undervaluing him in his ADP. If that's his ADP, he's definitely getting there,
are
but
you
we'll
are you
get there.
looking at an ADP for a dynasty or a redraft?
Redraft.
So what do they I'm curious, what do they have him in redraft ADP?
Yeah, let me pull that up real
Like
quick.
that's probably if J- Waddle, I would assume he's in the 4 or 5 rounds where that's great value in my opinion. In a redraft, because I'm sure they still have Cortland Sutton probably ahead of him.
Yeah, they do.
So
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
I would say they have him in the 4 or 5 round.
they have a consensus. He's 31 in PPR.
He's going to be the 31st wide receiver or 31st player off the board.
A 31st player off the board. 33. Yeah, it's between 31, 33, which is around the probably the top 20. So,
30, 31. So you're
yeah.
talking, he's going to be third round pick, which I'll be fine with that. Jalen
Yeah.
Waddle in the third round.
Yeah,
That would
that is
be
I
the
like
way the
that.
way I draft everybody, which is wide receiver heavy.
Yeah,
So in three
you have to.
rounds, if I went wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, I'd be happy with as fun. That means he's my wide receiver too, all day. Give me that all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Then I could
For
come
sure,
around and
man.
maybe stack sandwich with Bo Nix. Give me that.
Yeah, that I like that. I like that all day. All right, and our last news: Kirk Cousins signs with the Raiders. This guy just knows how to make money, bro, and just don't win any playoff game. Be just good enough. Be a nice guy and get paid.
I
Like
wish I had
it's
Kirk Cousins luck.
crazy. Like I just want to be a good quarterback and a nice guy and just be good enough.
Yeah, I like give me his luck in my life. That would be great. Like this guy
Yeah,
gets paid
it's amazing.
everywhere he goes.
So obviously we're expecting Fernando Mendoza to be drafted by the Raiders, but my more question about Kirk Cousins being signed and kind of being that he's going to start the season. Brock Bowers last year got hurt, went down, and fantasy. He was supposed to be the clear-cut tight end one. He had some instability at quarterback. The offensive line was terrible. Gino had no time to throw. Gino was also pretty bad last year. So can a healthy Brock Bowers surpass Trey McBride's fantasy value as a
A
tight
million
end
percent.
one?
A million percent.
And I'm actually going to refute that. But again, I want to give you that. I'm
Well,
a opposite guy.
because I just got news today, within the hour that Arizona's current quarterback is not showing up because he wants a contract. He wants to talk contract. To me, Arizona is a hot mess. In one of my dynasty leagues, I sold away Marvin Harrison Jr. because I also had Michael Wilson in my defense, so that's why I did it. Um, they're a hot mess right now. I don't like you ask me what they're doing at three. I have no idea. Um, but they got rid of a quarterback. They have one here. I don't think that Trey McBride is going to be the tight end one if Brock Bowers is fully healthy and Kirk Cousins could still sling it, right? And what do we think? I mean, they signed him to a lot of money. They don't have to pay a bunch of it. They can get out of it after a year. So to me, it's like I think he's going to start. I think it's going to be just like how the Giants did with Jackson Dart. Like, all
Yeah,
right, listen,
I agree.
here's a guy that we think he could at least perform well, right? We have professionalism. Which is great for building on a young quarterback, right? You just don't want a
Yeah.
bunch of youngins in here like Cleveland, right? Well, they had like 87 quarterbacks there, and everybody's like, all right, you want a chance. It's like the Oprah Winfrey for you get a shot, and now you get a shot, and now you get. So to me, having Kirk Cousins there, it gives him some stability, something to learn from a guy that he could learn how to get paid and how to win some games. So to me, if he plays 4 games, 5 games, and maybe he's ready, he could still sling it. I think if Brock Bowers is healthy, he's the tight end one because I don't know who else they really have.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that the Raiders definitely draft their quarterback, but they have to address that offensive line. That's why Kirk Cousins is there. That
Well, in their
offensive
defense,
line
they
was
did
terrible.
address they spent the most money in the offseason. They spent about 283 million, I think the number was. They also were supposed to get 2 first round picks, but then the Ravens did them dirty. Um, with that, I mean they got Linderbaum, I think, the center. So like they have the one of the best centers in the league, so that should help. Genty's back there, like they have a good offensive piece, they have a good tight end. So I think that if I mean they're going to target wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I will say this. I really think that Brock Bowers may be able to jump to tight end one. These two are both in kind of bad situations, and they're great players. So I think the instability in the offense is kind of like which team do you think is going to be more functional?
Right.
I think it runs down to this, and I think that I'm just going to trust a play caller like Mike LaFleur. So we have another LaFleur and the
The
coaching
floor.
ranks. He was not good for the Jets as the offensive coordinator, but obviously he had Zach Wilson. So kind of can't blame him, but he
And the
went
Jets.
back and had a great offense. under McVay once again. So I trust him, man. I think it's just the Jets are bad, but everywhere else he's gone, he's been pretty good. So I think that Trey McBride can be very sneaky and go back to tight end one, but it's all going to depend on like their situation. So out of Arizona and Vegas, like pick your poison of who's going to be worse.
Right. I have a quick jellies on the tight end.
Yeah.
Person that could slip up there is Colston Loveland
Ooh, I like that.
because they got rid of DJ Moore. Roma Dunze's great, and they got Luther Burden. Roma Dunze was not his choice, but I think obviously they'll still keep him there. But he was coming in the season a little banged up, and he had a great second half of the season. So he could potentially up there. I think it's going to be harder for him because they have more mouths to feed, but
Yep.
great player. Great
Yep.
player. One more quick piece of news that we can't not talk about because it's been the past few days is Dexter Lawrence. Ultimately, I mean, it's not fantasy relevant, but it's just quick news. I just want to ask you, do you think he stays on the Giants? Obviously I think with the news it's more leaning no. What does what does the Giants get for him? Because I'm hearing this is what's bothering me, right? Because they're talking about he's a little bit older. He's 28, 29. They're comparing it to the Quinn Williams, right? Like he's a couple years younger, but they got a great deal for him, right? They got a player, a first, and a second for him. They're saying that the Giants at best will get a late first round pick. I think I think you got to get. I mean, to me, I'm like, yo, Bengals at 10. Bengals have the 10th overall pick. We can't get the 10. I mean, is that a little rich? Maybe we could add a little something like him and a sixth. But to me, I think like why as anybody asks about this guy, he is the like a generational talent at his position. So why can't we get a one plus? Am
I
I
agree.
crazy, John? Am
I
I
agree.
too emotionally attached, John?
I agree. I agree. So I will say that I think that the Giants, we will get to that. We're actually going to segue into the main segment. Our first part of our main segment is the Jets and Giants draft implications. We're going to kind of skip ahead and let's go to the Giants. So Giants currently right now are drafting in the top half of the first round. Do you know specifically their draft pick?
They're pick five.
Pick five. So pretty high. Offensive priorities. This is a question. This might be a little spicy. Um, they need a true alpha wide receiver. Malik Neighbors was great his rookie year last year. I don't know. He had a little bit of regression. Quarterback insurance, what's the developmental process of Jackson Dart? Another coach. Let's see what happens. And the offensive line continuity, man. You guys got a talented offensive line, but can't stay healthy. So definitely think the offensive ceiling is still unclear. Obviously. So I will take you, Anthony, take the floor on what you think the Giants should do in terms of offensive priorities. Do you think that drafting a wide receiver is a must in the first round?
I think that it is not a must in the first round. I don't think like we're both been, I'm sure, locked in on all the news that's happening with our respected teams. And with the fifth pick in the NFL draft, the Giants select Sonny Styles. That's who I think they're going to pick. That's who I want them to pick. We had the worst run defense ever, and we have Sexy Dexy there, and we're most likely going to lose him. So to me, it's Sonny Styles. I'm hearing that it's Sonny Styles. I mean, Jeremiah Love, that's pretty much it, right? Harbaugh loves to run the ball. He loves to run the ball. They don't have a legit RB1, but they got a couple good guys, right? Scatterboo is going to be back healthy for the beginning of the season. Tyrone Tracy is nice. And then Singletary as a third. I'm okay with that group. I would slightly be mad if they went Love, but I guess maybe not when you start playing. I'm gonna have faith in the pick, and I'm gonna have faith in John Harbaugh. The only question now is like they don't have a lot of picks. They have two picks in the top 100. So do I think they need a receiver? Yes, they don't like they went out and got a couple guys on the cheap for 1 year deals, which I thought was great, like Kayvon Austin, and I can't think of his name from Falcons, their wide receiver two at the time. So like they got a couple, they have neighbors, and then like
They have Darnell
All the way
Mooney. Did you
down
guys
here, it
sign
drops off. What?
Did you sign Darnell Mooney?
Mooney, yes. So they
Okay.
have a couple fast guys, like, great. But to me, it's a big drop off. Mooney's not bad, but I'll take it right now for
Don't
that.
disrespect Darnell Mooney, bro. That dude
I
is
I like
legit.
him. It was a Steelers guy, right? The Steelers chose him, so you know that he's a decent receiver.
Yep.
But to me, like, I think they just kind of did a quick patch for receiver. They're like, all right, listen, we got a bunch of C's. We'll give Mooney a B, and then we have neighbors, right? So personally, I would be okay if they didn't come out of here with a receiver, but they hit on the positions we need. Like, we need a corner, we need another linebacker, and the offensive lineman situation. Like, I'm also like Harbaugh's. What did he do in the Chargers? He went his first trip pick was an offensive lineman. Because you know what? Like, Andrew Thomas is the best left tackle in football. But if he's not on if he's injured, which he happens to have get often, our line's shot. It's done.
Yeah.
So I'm either saying if they're gonna go Sonny Styles, cool. If not, trade back, and then grab another pick so that you could beef up the few pieces that we need. But John Harbaugh chose this team not because he can get the most money, but because they have a quarterback and they have a great defense. That's kind of why I'm like iffy on the defense. We're the top six spent money on defense. So like if we're just going to keep adding, but if we're now getting rid of Sexy Dexy, that's the huge part. To me, in my
Yeah.
mind, my mock has two ideas. Is one, the Jags don't have a lot of picks, but they do have Brian Thomas Jr. And Brian Thomas Jr. and Monique Neighbors were on the same squad, the same year. So imagine they make a deal with the Jags. Say, hey, listen, you guys need defense. You lost a bunch of people. They lost, like, I remember anytime who got signed defensive players was from the Jags. So like, what says that we can't say, all right, listen, give me Brian Thomas Jr. and three or a four, or even Brian Thomas Jr. and a four. We'll give you Sexy Dexy and a six. We have three six-round picks. I'm down
Yeah.
with that, right? And now, if that happens, okay, now Sonny Styles is five. If you get rid of Dexter Lawrence, which it literally looks like that's what's happening, he doesn't want to be a part of this team. He's mad because he's not getting paid with 3 years left on his contract and an underperforming year. If you get rid of him, you need Sonny Styles. I saw another draft where mock draft where the Jets went Bailey at two, edge, which I think they're going to do, either Bailey or Reese, but that Reese fell to us at five. And then we went Jeremiah Love. I was like, what is going on here? If Reese is there, we're taking him. If the Jets don't take Reese, Cardinals are going to take Reese. Is my
Yeah.
opinion.
I agree.
But let's turn that into you, John, because you guys have two first round picks.
Yeah, we do. We do. So, let me get down to the Jets. So, real quick before we jump to the Jets, so do you think that the Giants getting a legit wide receiver too? I don't think that they're going to be fantasy relevant for the first year. It depends on how they use it, especially I think that Harbaugh's going to use the tight end more. Do you feel comfortable with any Giants wide receiver? Let's say, for instance, they become the wide receiver two. Do you think that they have dynasty value?
Oh, you're
Do you
so you're
think
saying if
that,
they draft a
yeah, if they
receiver
draft a wide receiver, are you
with
feeling
one of their first
comfortable?
two picks?
Yes. If they
Because if it's
draft a
if it's
wide
obviously
receiver,
if it's after the second round, not really valid because they don't have a third round pick. It wouldn't really be a great fantasy relevant guy. Doesn't mean you don't find sleepers in 4, 5, and 6 rounds. But like
you're not
Puka,
feeling comfortable with where the Giants are drafting.
no. Like if they went with the number five and they picked Carnell Tate, which was mocked, a while back, I wouldn't draft him.
Okay.
He's not to me. I think you're 100% right. I don't think that they're going to go receiver that high because they have neighbors. They did a couple band-aids. They got Darnell Mooney, which is like a nice big band-aid. And then they got Kayvon Austin, tiny band-aid. Darius overpaid Slayton. Get rid of him, please, so you can save the money. But they went out and got Isaiah Likely, which to me was their receiver because he could literally be like a slot guy, right? Because they have Theo. Right, they did get rid of Bellinger. They drafted Thibodeau or whatever last year. So I think like a lot of two wide receiver sets with Theo and Likely and Neighbors on here, and then another guy, Darnell Mooney for the outside. I don't really think they're going to. If you ask Anthony's jellies right now, not the number 5 overall pick is not a wide receiver, and I don't think that the second round pick is a receiver. They don't have a third. They have a 4 or 5. I don't even know if they have a 5, but I know they have a fourth, and they have 3 6. If they do, it's a flyer on a 6. I don't think they're leaving this draft. If you ask me to put money down, do they leave this draft drafting a receiver? I say no.
Mm.
And if it is, it's a flyer guy. Like, oh, this guy has the possibility of it, but not like, dude, like, oh, it's one of those top 5 receivers in this draft. No, they're not. Unless they trade down from 5 and trade Dexter Lawrence. Now they've accumulated 2, 3 more picks. Now I'd say so. But where it stands now, with the squad they have and the picks they have, no.
All right. All right, man. So we're gonna turn it over to the
The
New
Jets.
York Jets.
The Jets have the
So I'm a
second
little down on the
and the
Jets.
16th.
I think I'm just, kind of used to the misery, but I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible. So they're drafting early to mid first round range. They got uh
They have
they
the
got two
second
top
pick
round
and the
picks.
16th.
Yeah, so I think the number one thing that the Jets really need, they need another playmaker alongside Garrett Wilson for sure. I also think that the Jets in the draft need to draft probably two quarterbacks, possibly. They need to find something.
John, this is
Something.
where your emotions get involved.
Yeah, I'm just I like I think that the Jets should draft in the first round the best player. I think Bailey is definitely a guy but I think the next pick has to be a wide receiver. And it's not even close. They have to draft a wide receiver at 16.
I
That's
don't,
how bad it is. Adonai Mitchell is our number two.
and I think you have to sign him. Um,
It's
and he
bad.
wasn't, he came out when he got drafted as a decent prospect. I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't disagree with you. I think that the number 2 pick has to be somebody who's either an edge rusher or like Reese who can be an edge rusher.
Mm.
And then with your 16, because you guys have 2 firsts, 2 or 3 seconds, so you have a lot of picks. So to me, defense, which was the Jets' like solid point for a few years, but I think that was a combination of Robert Saleh and not selling your 2 best players last year. Which great job by you guys getting what you got for those 2 players, which was tremendous.
Yeah,
I think they won both of those deals. Sauce
I
Gardner
agree.
getting 2 firsts and a player and him going down 2 weeks later, absolutely tremendous. Um, but to me, I think that's not bad, right? Because if the 16th overall pick, you will have probably only one receiver off the board by then, in my opinion. So you'll have literally if everybody thinks Carnell Tate's number 1, you will have everybody on the board receiver wise but Carnell Tate. So I don't think that's a terrible idea. Now, to me, if they go receiver with the 16, you guys got to now hit defense a lot because you're the only team to never have an interception last year, right? That's huge. Your offensive line, I think, is just young. Like people will say, like, oh, they need offensive line. The past 2 years with your first round picks, you went offensive line for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So I think the offensive line is actually decent.
Yeah, the offensive line wasn't
Just
that
needs
bad.
continuity, bro. And they were just young. It was a young offensive line, but the talent is there.
Oh yeah.
You want to grab a depth piece, cool. Like with your one of your 1 million second round picks or third round picks, sure. But I think as a Jets fan, if they walk out with at 2, you get Bailey or Reese, and at 16, you get the best receiver that you think is there on the board, that's a solid first round for you guys.
Yeah. I don't see Carnell. I don't see Carnell Tate. I think he's going to be the first wide receiver off the board. I think Miami drafts him. So that is just my take of what they're going to do. I think they need a receiver so bad that their first pick, which is the 11th pick, unfortunately, is going to be Carnell Tate for sure. The guy is, he just has all the elite traits. Like basically. they got their number one there. And then I think that the Jets, I'm okay with either or. They get Lemon or Jordan Tyson. I'm cool with both of them, but I really hope that the Jets do not reach for Ty Simpson at 16. That is where I really hope the Jets don't do that. I would rather let them fall in the second round. Let's pick up another quarterback later down the road. Somebody that is just can learn, and that would just be my take on the Jets. Is
Quarterback
that
situation for me, real quick. I agree. If Tate is there for Miami at 11, it is a no-brainer for them. To me, though, the interesting person is the Chiefs at 9 because I think that they
yes,
have they have never had an opportunity to draft this high to grab like every time they're in the 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That's it. So like you're getting the fourth potential receiver, fifth where they have the choice of any receiver. If my money is on them because I don't think the Saints do it. I think Saints go defense. I think the Chiefs grab Tate at 9. If not, it's 11 for sure. So like I agree. The Rams, everybody in front of your 16 besides the Chiefs or Miami won't grab Tate because I don't think the Giants are going to do it. So that's my opinion. I think the Chiefs are going to go receiver there. They got Ken Walker. They only got unless no, there's no tight end high enough or Kelsey's replacement. I think they go receiver. So I do think that that's the best position for the Jets is to go edge and then receiver. Now, I
yeah,
wouldn't be mad if at 16 they didn't go receiver and they went another defensive piece like a corner. I don't think you'd be mad either. But as a fantasy player, relevancy, you want that receiver. To me, if the Jets literally just keep building with all these picks and don't touch a quarterback, like the difference between the Jets and the Giants can win games now and want to, where the Jets should take this one year, and it's hard because Aaron Glenn is going to fight for his job here.
yeah, I
But
agree.
they should keep building the team so that next year, when we know about next year's draft, you have three freaking first round picks, and
I
you're not
agree.
going to probably finish very high. So you can literally get the quarterback you're next year. Don't touch it this year. I mean, unless you're like shooting for a flyer yet again, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even waste it on that position.
I agree. I think the Jets this year, the thing is that your backup options are Bailey Zappi and Brady Cook. Not ideal. That is terrible backup options.
Bro,
So if
Gino
Gino goes
coming back
down,
to New York,
if
bro.
Gino goes down, it's over. That's the thing about the Jets. They didn't sign any backup quarterback. I know Tyrod Taylor's still out there. We still, but right now, currently as constructed, it's Geno Smith, Brady Cook and Bailey Zappi. Not going to get the job done for you.
No,
So,
but you know what? Let's not forget. I mean, Geno Smith is not the answer, but can he
no,
be the 1 year bridge?
I agree. I honestly think that, so this is my take. I think the Jets offense is going to be decent. It's not going to be like like all-time worst. I think if they're going to be decent, they're going to be some splash. I like the offensive coordinator, Frank Reich. He's back in coaching. I'm interested in seeing. It can only go up. Obviously, health is health, but do I think that the Jets could be a competent offense? Yes. Do I think the defense could be better? Yes. Can the Jets surprise? Yes. But my thing is that like, can this wide receiver two make the difference in making this offense like be relevant again?
Remember, Geno Smith had an okay year before the Raiders. The Raiders' offensive line was trash. He's coming
Yeah.
into a better offensive line by a lot. So if he can just give, if you guys have another 4 win season, but you lost 6 games by 3 points, you looked good losing. I think Aaron Glenn could still keep his job if he has a good draft here. But like, listen, guys, like look what we're doing. Let's get him his guy. The defense was better. They actually got an interception. Blah 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 blah. So I think there is some upside. I think you guys just need to have. I mean, and you're used to it, right? Just of a lot of shit years. One more rough year, right? Maybe with a little bit of excitement this year. I think that personally, I think they trade Brees Hall by the deadline this year. That's my opinion, but
Yeah.
I think that they Just look at 2027, bro.
Yeah, I agree. So, to wrap up this section, and then we'll go into dynasty players, is all right. If the Giants and Jets draft a first round wide receiver, who finishes with more fantasy points?
So if they both do, so that
Yeah.
means like
If
hypothetically
the Jets
Giants
and
go
Giants draft a wide receiver in the first round, who has more fantasy points? And
Giants receiver.
obviously, there's great wide receivers. I'm just based on the offense of what it's currently constructed. I'm going to say that
That's
the
actually a
Jets
really good.
have a better wide receiver. That they'll be more fantasy relevant in year one.
I'm not even gonna. Man, that's actually a really good question, bro. Like I might tweet that out on the
Yeah.
on the, on the
So
socials.
I
Like
think after the draft, so guys, stay tuned. We're going to be also on Twitter and Instagram. So Anthony will drop that at the end for everybody. All right, man.
I think I
So
agree with you though. I think I'll have to say that because the Giants have like the likely thing and the neighbors and all this, and I think they're gonna try and run a little more where the Jets might just be coming from behind in a lot of games, so where they would be slinging it more. So I would actually agree with you, and that hurts to say.
all right, man. So now we're gonna get to immediate dynasty impact players. So we've been talking about Jets, Giants, what we think about our teams and fantasy relevance. Now let's actually get to like more relevant stuff, and that is dynasty. So let's go to the glaring number one overall pick. We will come back this next episode and say Fernando Mendoza is a Las Vegas Raider. Yay. Okay, so for quarterback for Dynasty. It's Fernando Mendoza, and there's a big drop off. So, how high is Fernando Mendoza being drafted in Dynasty? So, obviously, for two quarterback, he's going to get drafted, but for regular, not two quarterback Dynasty leagues, how are you drafting Fernando Mendoza in the first round?
Okay, that's a good question. So this isn't a startup. This is if you already have a dynasty and you have three or four rounds of picks for this. Does he go in the first round? Yes, I think he does. Yeah, I would say because it's
Okay.
even if it's not a super flex, even if it's a regular, I still think he could be the 12th pick, right? Because like there's six receivers, right? I think I don't even know you're the college king here. I don't know too much. I'm starting to watch more and more college just because I've gotten into Dynasty more recently. But to me, like it's Jeremiah Love and then like a big drop off for RB, right?
Yeah, we'll get to Jeremiah Love.
Right.
Right
No,
now,
but
we're
I'm
just
saying
going to
so for
focus
me,
on the
it's like
quarterbacks.
I'm looking at it. So it's like it's Jeremiah Love drop off. There's a bunch of decent receivers, tight ends. I mean, you'll probably grab one in there. So to me, he'll probably be a first round draft pick.
I'm going to go as far as this. I think that this is one of the worst quarterback drafts we have ever had in Dynasty in a very long time. There might not be not one quarterback that starts week one that's drafted in this NFL draft. Because Fernando Mendoza, remember, we talked earlier about Kirk Cousins.
Right.
So any quarterback that you are drafting in round three, I'm going to say that maybe three quarterbacks are taking tops, maybe four. Four's a little crazy in my end. But I think it's Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and then that's it. No other team is going to be starting him. I think that this is one of the one of the worst quarterback classes in terms of dynasty because these guys are not starting right away.
Right.
So we thought last year was bad with Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. Like now we're sitting at like none of them are starting week one. So
Jackson.
uh,
But no, I agree.
yeah, so I'm just gonna
I
so
wouldn't be shocked if Mendoza is the only quarterback drafted in 3 rounds.
yeah, that would be a little more shocking to me because I do think that Ty Simpson, if he gets signed to like if he gets drafted by the rate like the Steelers, that might be potential like good situation. So that's why I said like about three. It depends on where these guys go. I like three of them in this draft, but just for first year, we're gonna have to wait for Fernando Mendoza, unfortunately, in my opinion.
Right,
So
but you to me like that's why I think he would still go is just because it's like I think it's the Jackson Dart scenario where he has a potential to play at least the back half of the season. So, you're not excited about doing it, but it's dynasty. You're not just doing it for this year, you're doing it for long term. And what happens, what if you're a squad like I have a dynasty team where I have Matthew Stafford and then I think it's just Justin Herbert. So it's like, all right, I'm going to eventually have to get a replacement for Stafford, right? I think he's still got this year and next year to play at an elite level, but I would, it depends on what your dynasty team looks like. So yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I
against
agree.
it.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to running back. So obviously we talked about him already, Jeremiah Love, and then there's everybody else. Do you agree with this statement?
Yes. Big
Uh,
drop off.
yeah, very big drop off. And I thought that this would be a better running back class, but like a lot of these guys just did not perform last year in college. And I think that situations, so I think it's Jeremiah Love and everybody else, but I do have a wild horse guy that I'm looking at. And this guy was ranked really, really, really high early in the season. I was big on him, but he kind of fizzed out of Penn State. Nicholas Singleton out of Penn
Singleton.
State.
I mean, I think I've seen some tape, or because I've been doing my little, that's how I get my jellies for the draft. I've heard the name come about. That's a good one to keep out, everybody. Keep your eyes on him. Now I have a quick question because like the saying, what is it like? Mermaid syndrome, like when a mermaid, you're out to sea so long, a mermaid even looks good. Is Jeremiah Love that good, or is he looking a little bit better because the rest of the competition isn't so good?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's the rest of the competition is it's subpar. Like last year, we had all these great running backs that came out. This year, there's a famine for running backs. So I think that Jeremiah Love will be overdrafted in my opinion. I think that because of his position, he's going to be drafted number one. But I think he's very overrated,
Yeah.
extremely overrated
In
as
every single dynasty draft, like where you're getting your 3 rounds, he is number one.
Yeah, he is number one, without a doubt. It
And you
doesn't
don't even know
matter.
where he's going.
Yeah, and you don't even know where he's going, even in Superflex. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going to go with Jeremiah Love, and then after that, there's a really big drop off with running back, man. I mean, right now, as we're speaking, we don't have a running back's not being drafted until like the 10. So yes, there is a big drop off, and I think that I'm going to segue to this is why running back is so thin is that this is a wide receiver rich class. Oh my God. So many good wide receivers coming out this season. So many. So I'm going to go down to what are your top three wide receivers in Dynasty? Because we have so many
Coming out. I
coming
think
out. So
I
how
think
would you do? I think that we can all agree. It's Carnell Tate, Micaiah Lemon, and Jordan Tyson. So I think that concept, and then we could throw in
you could
Casey in
Concepcion.
there. Yeah, yeah,
You could throw like some people
Concepcion.
have him as a three. I guess a lot of it as of right now because you don't know where they're going. I think that's a fair 1, 2, 3. I think it does really matter. Like right now, our three are those, and then after the draft, where these players go could definitely change. Um, but yeah, I agree. I mean, Lemon looks scary. Like he looked like a serial killer.
Yeah, Lemon is LSU guy for sure.
I love me LSU receivers. So
Yeah,
give me
like
a guy who
he's
looks like he's gonna murder you. I'll take that guy.
yeah, I will take that guy too. So I think that in dynasty drafts, I think that wide receivers, I say that there is possibly six wide receivers taken in the first round of dynasty leagues. Wide receivers are going to be off the board very quickly in dynasty. Right now, we have to wait for the draft, but before the draft, right now, I have six wide receivers off the board first round.
I think
Thoughts?
that's easy, right? Because you have it's just going to be Mendoza's the only quarterback. Jeremiah Love, those are two for sures in the first round. So now you have 10 spots left. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, six minimal. That's fair. It could be seven. It could be eight. I mean, a
Yeah,
tight
I
end
agree.
maybe works in here, but yeah, I think six is a fair number. If you ask me to take the over under, it's over all day.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that wide receiver definitely six. I would say we're in the seven range, and then I would say that guys like there'll probably be two other running backs that are taken in the first round just because running back is very scarce. It has value. You need guys, but that's why how I have it is that it's going to be very wide receiver heavy. And then we'll wrap up for Dynasty tight end. Dynasty and obviously tight end rookies. We've had sensations like, Sam Laporta, Brock Bowers. So do you think that that it continues that rookie tight ends have an impact right away?
No, I think that was just I mean, it was like a 2 or 3 year span of very good tight ends coming out, right? We had Loveland and Warren last year.
Yep, Loveland
Then you
and
had
Warren.
Bowers the year before, and then you had Laporta the year before. Laporta, FYI, was a jellies pick by yours truly. I just think that that was just a perfect scenario for these guys. They went to a great place and they were great talent. I don't think the talent is there for tight ends versus these guys. So I don't think that this year you're going to have whoever the number one or number two or whoever the top three tight ends that are drafted. I don't think that they finish inside the top 10.
Yeah, I agree. Right now they have Sadiq as tight end one and Eli Stowers.
Yeah,
So as
Sadiq
tight
out of
end
here.
two out of Vanderbilt, and then Keon's Sadiq, he came out of, I forgot what school he came out of.
It's all right, John. We'll allow that. You
Yeah,
can't remember all the
Oregon,
colleges.
Oregon. I think he came out
Oregon.
of Oregon.
All right.
So I don't think that tight end is going to be really valuable, but I would be interested in a second round tight end, just to pick up a guy, maybe a third round. I think tight end is something I will target maybe in the third round, depending on what I get. But I think that in dynasty drafts, it's going to be wide receiver heavy. This is a wide receiver draft. You're going to be seeing a ton off the board. Running backs, obviously, because they're pretty scarce. And then I would say maybe we're looking at two quarterbacks being taken, and that's that for right now. So, whereas we're preparing for the draft, we'll see how things shake out, and we'll get back to you, man, and see where that is. All right, bold take. Um, who is um, who is the rookie of the year in fantasy without even drafting? Who is the rookie? Who is rookie number one?
I mean, I would have to just go with Jeremiah Love,
You're gonna go with Jeremiah Love? Okay.
rookie of
All
the year
right.
this year. I mean, that's probably the betting favorite. I mean, even, with Tate and whatever, like I would probably still gamble on Jeremiah Love being that.
I'm gonna go with Makai Lemon.
Okay, wait, John, I'm gonna start. I have a book for us, John. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
I'm gonna go with Lemon. Yeah, you could write it down. I'm gonna go with Lemon this year.
You're damn
I
right
think
I'm gonna write it
Lemon.
down, John, because we're coming back to this so that when you're wrong, I can be like, yo, you're wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go with Lemon. All right, and
Lemon.
we'll see where he lands first, and then I might change my mind, but I'm gonna go with Lemon.
As of right now, it's all right. Lemon rookie of the year. I got love. Love and lemon. Y'all love lemons. And we're
Yes.
gonna have that as our take on what we think that is. I love it. It starts our first little feud challenges with each other.
Let's
Hey.
go. Fantasy, the purpose. We finally got to the signature segment. All right, so what's the purpose of a fantasy feud, Anthony?
Well, I like it because A, we were always feuding, right? Guys, me and John and I, very good friends for a very long time. And literally we I don't know, multiple times a month just call, catch, shoot the shit, and then talk football. Doesn't matter what time of the year. Literally, we did it this whole off season as well.
Yeah.
So then I was like, we're gonna have a feud, but now we can't have our name be Fantasy Feud and not have a game, like an actual game. So I said, let me think about a game that I could do and also give a gift. Have had many years of collecting cards. Back in the day, I paused, and then this, past few years, collected a little more. Nothing special, right? I have probably a bunch of cards ranging from $1 to $40 worth. But I wanted to do something to also interact with the viewer, right? So this is our pilot episode. So John's going to be my contestant today. But going forward, likes, subscribe if you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and we are literally it's Fantasy Feud football podcast everywhere. You'll see the logo. And then we would like to get a viewer on to potentially win some cards. So for John, he is a Jets fan, as we know. So I said, let me go get some Jets questions and let me go get some Jets cards. So John, do you want to see cards before or after the questions?
Let's do it after the question.
Ooh, I like it. Your choice. You're the
Yeah,
game
I
player
like
here.
it.
So the way this game is going to work is I'm going to give the person seven questions.
Okay.
Four of them will be multiple choice, worth 1 point. Three of them are just going to be questions you have to give me the answer for. Those are worth 2 points. If everybody's math whizzes here, that is a total of 10 points that you can get. And John's a school man. You got to get seven. You got to get 7 out of 10. 7 points.
Okay.
Right? Because that's pretty much, I couldn't do 6.5 because we're not
All
we're not
right.
at 60, right? So seven. But if you, for some reason, after the seven questions are sitting at 6 points, I'll give you another one. I'll give you another shot. Just because
Okay.
I want the contestant to win. I want to have to send out cards for free and pay for the postal stamps. All right. You, though, will not get these sent to you. You will get them when I see you next. All right. So, John, so I'm going to give question number one. Who is the career, not season, career leading in receiving yards? Is it Wesley Walker, Lavernius Coles, Wayne Krebet, or Don Maynard? Don Maynard.
Repeat the options again.
Wesley Walker,
Okay.
Lavernius Coles, Wayne Krebet, and then Don Maynard,
Go with A.
which was Don Maynard.
No, it wasn't that was
Oh, the first one I
Wes.
said.
Yeah, Wes. Yeah, West.
Wesley Walker.
Yeah,
No.
Wesley Wecker.
Wes,
Wow.
it is not. The correct answer is Don Maynard.
Don
Okay.
Maynard. Wow. So that's crazy. So a little fantasy football history. Joe Namath was actually popularized throwing the football. So I should have knew that one.
You should have. Hey, it's okay. Sometimes when you're on the spot, you get a little nervous. You know what I mean? So that's all right. That's question number one, John.
Wow.
And that's only a 1 pointer. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Let me see. Who holds No, I don't want to do that one just yet. I want to wait for that one. All right.
Okay.
This one. How many retired jersey numbers do the Jets have, right? So numbers that are retired. Is
Okay.
it three, four, five, or six?
Six.
Ooh, John, it's five.
Oh man. All right. Name the five. So we got Joe Namath, Don Mayer.
John, I'll give
Okay.
you I'll give you a point if you could name two more.
Curtis Martin.
Bang.
Okay.
I might even give you the point for 3 out of 5.
Darrell Revis.
Nope.
Wow, no Darrell Revis. Nick Mangle.
Nope.
Wow.
These are old
Nope.
guys.
These are old guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Klecko.
Bang. There it is.
Um,
John gets a point, guys.
yeah, Joe Klecko. Oh my God. Gasno.
Nope.
Um, yeah. It's
Dennis
basically the
Dennis
80s guys.
Bird.
What was it?
Dennis Bird. Tell me
Wow.
who that is? Yeah, I don't know. But so I'll give you a
Wow.
point because you named 4 out of 5. That's pretty good. And I
Yeah.
mean, one or two of them were like I guess a fair,
I
understanding.
appreciate the grace for the first episode. I appreciate it.
I mean, come on here. Like, to name 4 out of 5 retired jerseys is pretty good in my opinion. Okay. So, that was two questions. You only got No, that was 3 questions. You got 1 point. That's okay. So for the fourth, was that? I lost my. All right. So who holds the single season passing yards? Is it Joe Namath, Fitzpatrick, Rogers, or Testaverde? Single season passing yards.
Okay.
Joe Namath, Ryan Fitzmagic, Aaron Rodgers, Vinny Testaverde.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ooh, nope, Joe Namath.
Joe Namath. Wow. Joe
And now I was
Namath.
going to go into the second one. That was only two. That was the third. So now
Yeah,
is
I should have just defaulted like to all the old guys because the Jets have been so bad for so long.
well, hold on. Don't just do this yet, sir.
Yeah.
Single season passing touchdowns. Joe Namath, same four. Joe Namath, Fitzpatrick, Aaron Rodgers, Vinny
Fitzpatrick.
Testaverde. All right, he's got that one, guys. That's why
Fitzpatrick.
it was confusing. It was
Yeah,
most
yeah. I know Fitzpatrick had all record.
right. Okay, that's at two. We're at two, John.
Okay.
All right, so now that's all the multiple choice questions.
Okay.
So now we're gonna have you have 2 points.
Okay.
So you got to
I'm
get two.
failing.
You're failing, but
I'm
if for
failing.
some reason you get all these right, all right. So single season receiving yards. Who is the owner of the record of the single season receiving yards? And it is not crazy old. It was in your lifetime.
Keyshawn Johnson
No, sir.
or Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall. I'll give you that. Brandon
It's either
Marshall.
Keyshawn or Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall. Good call here.
All
Okay.
right, got Brandon Marshall. Okay. It was either Keyshawn or Brandon Marshall.
All right. Okay. I like that. So that's at 4 points. So we have the now remember these are 2 points, so they're tough
Yeah.
questions.
Okay.
So now I'll give it me back to the same thing with single season, but not receiving yards, touchdowns. So what's good about this, because I'm fair, is there's actually three people tied for the single season touchdown record. All you got to do is name one.
Wow. Wow. That one is wow. Okay. I'm gonna go with Wayne Corbett.
No, sir.
Damn.
Yeah, no. One more guess, John. I'll give you one more guess. I want you to win.
Ah, so many. Okay. I'm gonna go with Keyshawn.
Nope.
Wow, no Keyshawn. Should have been did like Don Mayer or something like that.
That's exactly who you should have done.
Don Mayer. Yeah, should have did Don Mayer.
All right, we got that. We got that. Hey,
Rest
listen,
in
you know what?
peace,
I'm gonna
Don
give it
Mayer.
to you, John, because then it makes you at 6 points because I don't think you're gonna get this next one right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
How many 1,000 yard seasons did Curtis Martin have?
Including the Jets or when he was on the Patriots?
Only on the Jets.
How many single
1,000 yard
season?
that plus the 1,000 plus yard seasons
Wow.
did Curtis Martin have?
Oh my God.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Oh man, because he didn't have every good. Oh my God, what the heck? Ah, oh my God.
Listen, give me a number and I'll tell you. I'll give me a number and I'll tell you if it's over or under.
5,
Okay, over.
7,
Dang, John, seven.
7,
Wow, he's got seven. That is seven. Seven 1,000 yard seasons.
7 1,000 seasons. Yep.
Yes.
And then he had another one with the Patriots.
Right. The reason why I ended with that Curtis Martin one is because I told you before the show started that I went back into my 90s collection when I was younger and I collected.
Okay.
And because I had a Curtis Martin. Nothing special,
Wow.
but a nice
That's
Curtis Martin card here. It's got some stats on the back for you here. And actually, there's a bunch of yards that are post 1,000 right here. He's got
yo,
six.
Curtis Martin was amazing, man.
So John is a winner by a very friendly host of the game
Yes,
show.
I appreciate it. You
No,
we are giving
listen,
grace here.
when people come on to play this game, it's not just one card because they're not very valuable. I mean, that card could be a couple bucks. So there's a little handful here. So what we have is, and I feel bad for this poor gentleman, but it's a Jordan Travis patch.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it means nothing because he retired, but hey, it's a patch card. You don't have one of those. Okay, you're gonna get yourself a Darrell Revis,
Ooh, okay.
which is on a Cosmo, which is a couple dollars here. Now we have a Leonard Taylor, the third here.
Okay.
We have another Leonard Taylor here, just a different type, different
Okay.
type of football card here. Your offensive tackle, Fashanu here.
Yeah. Okay.
Malachi Corley.
Okay.
These are all rookie cards, by the way, except for the Curtis Martin. And except for this one, this is a time-stamped. Oh no, it's a rookie, Xavier Gibson.
Okay.
Cool little card.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
cool.
this one is another Malachi Corley here. And then
Okay.
I liked this one. This was a certain, it's called Contenders Draft Class, Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, wow.
So John
That's
is a
nice.
winner of all these cards. And if you want to come on the show and have a chance to win some football cards of minimal value, all you gotta do is follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and shoot a message. Hey John, hey Anthony, I wanna challenge. I wanna hop on the fantasy feud.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. This will be more serious as the time goes on. We're just gonna get the juices flowing here, and great job, Anthony, on the segment on our fantasy feud. So great job, man. All right, so we're gonna go to our second favorite part of the segment, and that is the jelly segment. Anthony, take away. You are the jelly man.
Yes. So the jellies came about is when I had a wild take or a hot take. For instance, like the Sam Laporta a few years ago, I had in a redraft, I drafted him in like the 13th round, and everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy." I said, "I feel it in my jellies that he is going to be legit," and he ended up being the tight end one. Brian Thomas Jr., jellies pick. So ultimately, the jellies is what you would call a hot take, but it's something that you feel. You know what I mean? It's not just a random thought. You got to feel this one. You got to feel it. And I think I kind of went a little bit on it, but I'm going to say that the Colston Loveland is a jellies pick for me. I am pursuing him in current dynasty leagues that I'm in. I will be targeting him in our upcoming one, our startup. So to me, I think Colston Loveland finishes top three tight end. That is a jellies take, a jellies for me. As far as upcoming player, like last year, Judkins was my jellies, and I don't think I was off by that one. It wasn't like a crazy hot take, but a decent one. So to me, what is my jellies this year is that the best the lemon that Lemon will be the number one receiver finishing this year.
All right. Awesome. All right. So, my jelly segment. So, I'm going to do one bold NFL draft prediction. So, I'm going to have that Fernando Mendoza is the only quarterback taken in the first round. No other quarterback will be drafted after him.
That's possible. I mean, the Jets have two first round picks.
Yeah, but I just think that this quarterback class is so bad that I don't think that they're going to be a quarterback drafted in the first round. Ty Simpson goes in the second. That is my hot take for the NFL draft.
I would bet
Risky,
that.
but I would say risky but uncomfortable. I am going to and we're going to talk about we already talked about this before. My double down, like my I am comfortable with saying that Jalen Waddle will be a top five wide receiver this year. Top five wide receiver this year, Jalen
That
Waddle.
is that if that is a jellies, if you're asking me.
That is
That
a
is a
really
jelly.
big jellies, and that would be his career best. That is my jellies. I will see. It's not looking good right now, but that is my inner jellies, where he is going to be a wide receiver, a top five wide receiver in fantasy, in PPR, in particular. Standard, he will be top 10, but top five would be PPR. That is my bold take. I have him being a fantasy winner. I think that if you have Jalen Waddle on your fantasy lineup in the championship in playoffs, he is going to get you a lot of points. Um, so we got that. And then next time, I would say is we will start doing predictions and a jelly segment for division winners and Super Bowl. So that is my jelly segment.
Hey, listen, we got two jellies today, and it's two top five finishers, and that's Colson Loveland for me and Waddle for you. I like that. I like
It's
that. And
pretty bold.
we got it, and I will continually have written these down so we can it's here, it's written. We'll know.
It's
It's
written
recorded.
and it's recorded. So let's do
So
this, man.
you can't shy away from your jellies here.
That's right. All right, guys. So that wraps up our first episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. So a recap of this episode, man. So we covered what this show is about, who we are, just to get a little flow of things. So for the next time, I just want to reinforce that Fantasy Feud is a game. We're going to be talking about fantasy football. Me and Anthony, we want to encourage you to interact with us. Send us your fantasy questions. Send your trade ideas. Follow and subscribe on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it,
I
Instagram.
call it.
And we also have an email address. So, Anthony, take that away with how they can contact us.
Yes, yes. So on all platforms, it's Fantasy Feud. I have the list here because some apparently I found out on X that Fantasy Feud is somebody else's name, but not the way we have it. It's different. So on Instagram, it's Fantasy Feud, just like that. On Twitter, on I call it Twitter, guys. I will always call it Twitter. It's fantasy underscore feud. And then it's fantasy feud podcast at gmail.com. So we have a TikTok. I basically went on all socials except Facebook because we're not grandparents here. So just follow us on Fantasy Feud. Check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, DM. You can DM on Instagram. You wanna tweet out wherever, right? We want to help you. We love fantasy football. We love talking trade ideas. So you got something who you think what is our take on a certain player? Just like, do we think Waddle? Any of those questions. We live for that. We want to hear your problems in fantasy and we want to help you fix them with our
Let's do it.
jellies.
Let's go. Let's go, man. All right, guys. Well, stay tuned. NFL draft is coming up this Thursday, so be on the lookout for some tweets. What's our reactions? So we will probably do like a short little video clip of us talking about the NFL draft, and we'll see you next time in Fantasy Feud.